flexes pajamas. Nice verbals, dissect this. Envy, hot since pajamas. Be butter, envy, foreign language. Try to dissect this. To explain how I.
Right, back to it. It's been a little bit, but we're back to it. Deep Language Podcast. We just came back from a vacation about a month or two ago.
Yeah, it was the end of the previous month.
Yeah, end of July, I think.
So,
and check out the video. We have it on IGTV at It's Deep 0416, and on YouTube on the Deep Language Podcast. Check out the video of MV performing pretty much all of Cold Summer.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Except for Freezer Burn. Shout out to D Butter.
Oh yeah,
There's a lot of cool stuff, man. I mean, the summer it flew by, but I think there was a lot of cool stuff. Like Caesar splashed in there. That was definitely a highlight.
Yeah. But
I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful for all the work that you've been putting in and everything we've been able to accomplish.
Oh, it was a dope summer. It was just dope starting this podcast. Kind of a reboot, I would say. Kind of a reboot, kind of reamping and things we talk about. We're not going to worry about specifics. We're just going to talk. Yeah. And, enjoy your time, enjoy our time, and just have a conversation because, man, there's so much going on right now. So much happening at once. And so with that, I have a segment here called Right Here, Right Now. And I want to know, what are you reading? What are you watching, listening to, playing, eating, drinking, whatever.
Yo.
What's happening at this moment?
Oh, man. So that's a real good one. You mentioned I think a couple of books.
Yeah. I've been trying to keep up with my comic books. So I've been reading, like I said, I'm actually reading The Last Ronin, which is the Ninja Turtles. I gotta finish the third book, but pretty much without spoilers, it's all the turtles are dead, but one, and it's Shredder's grandson, and it's crazy because I grew up with the turtles, so reading this and how dark. I know the original comics were pretty dark and gritty. Fun fact, their origins matches up with Daredevil's origins.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you ever want to read Daredevil or you want to read Turtles, they kind of coexist, and it kind of, I guess, the same universe, because the same acid that blinds Daredevil is the same chemical, I should say, that blinds Daredevil. Actually, is the chemical that turns the turtles into the Ninja Turtles. But this one is all the turtles die except for one, and he's going on an onslaught after Shredder's grandson, and it's so good. It's so good. It's sad, and the turtle that survived, you wouldn't think he'd be the lone survivor, but it's him, and it's oh.
The way you sold that, I gotta check it out.
Yes, it's so good.
That's tight.
Watching, man, I'm watching so much. I mean, watching Titans.
Yeah, I need to catch up on that.
Oh, man. I watch at this point for the laughs because those stories that they're trying to portray is big, Batman stories. And it's but they take Batman out of the equation.
Yeah, it's hard. That's a good fit. That's a hard fit.
I make fun of it because, now they're doing the Red Hood, which is Jason Todd. And he's 5'6", and I call him Baby Red Hood because he's this short guy, but he's this.
So he's Little Red Riding
Hood. he's this real short guy with a big helmet. It's so I call him Baby Red Hood, and I find it I just laugh at it because it's hilarious. So I'm watching Titans. We're watching damn, what do we watch? We're watching so much.
Yo, as soon as I say, well, let me see. I was supposed to start a couple books, but I fell behind on that. I don't read as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to try to reawaken that. But really, right now, I just started watching WuTang. So
yeah, the WuTang show, man.
That's a whole different.
Oh man, that's
what
good.
I'm gonna tell y'all is the one thing you need to be aware of for watching the WuTang is that I meant to talk about.
Dude, the writing for that show is so good. It's it's not like your typical, gangster. I'm gonna, do this, do that. No, it's like, they show how much they show their growth, and that's how a biopic should be. Mm-hmm. It's showing growth, and it really shows their growth of where they started, and where they're, what they're about to become.
Here's the thing. After having seen it and how engrossed I was the first season,
mm-hmm.
and anticipating the comeback this second season, do you think that more biopics should be like series versus you can't jam it in? Because now they might take a note from their book and like more biopics will be like.
I feel like we need a Pac series.
Boom, right?
Because the All Eyes on Me, good movie. Yeah, the actor was great.
They did those justice,
but
they did NWA
there's so
and
much
Biggie One justice.
Yeah, I just feel like with Pac, there's so much more to unravel with him.
Yeah,
that they didn't. They just focused on like the negative of his career.
The thing that's great. Here's one thing, 100%. As I was engrossed in the new season,
mm-hmm.
the thing that I started to break down and dissect in my mind is how they were able to get these stories accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it, they got 9 members. They only lost one.
That
passed away,
yeah.
right? And you got the RZA's really a part of it. But not only that, you got so many different members to draw from in terms of retelling the story and be like, yo, so how did this happen? Like, they can interview. So that's why they really can't get it wrong in terms of the accuracy
mm-hmm.
in some points.
My thing is too, and then this is from the first season because it's out the gate. Is what happens is the fact that Ghostface and Raekwon was beefing.
Oh,
that bugged me out.
So sincere,
because
they're like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, like you never see Raekwon without Ghost. You don't see Ghost without Raekwon. So I was like,
bro,
when they were, and it was not, I'm not even gonna say it was beef. They were both out for blood.
Yo, bro, they were Styles P and Jada before Styles P and Jada.
Yo, they were out for blood. It was like, I'm gonna kill you before you kill me.
Yeah, but for them to be like that, like to me, when I think of duos in hip hop.
Like they're one of the greatest.
Right. And it's crazy to me. That's insane. I mean, if they could change and get past their differences.
To the point where they were shooting at each other. They were shooting.
That's crazy.
Raekwon shot up his crib.
Bro, that's crazy.
I'm just like, I'm hoping that's not exaggerated.
Right.
But I remember seeing Mice of Men and I think that's what the documentary was called. Or
Mice of Men. Yes.
And I think it was Papa Wu who said something where it was like RZA was dead in the middle of Stapleton and Park Hill, and like if you were at RZA's house, there was you keep that outside. Yeah, like that's what they were saying. Like they're like, you keep that outside because this is where we're working. But you look at it, it's like these guys were shooting at each other. Like that's not a beef. That's like, I'm gonna kill you.
That's crazy.
Like,
yeah.
And even with like guys like the dude that plays ODB, like that dude must have like studied him, bro, from the time he woke up to the time he went to bed, because he's perfection.
Bro, he's more ODB than ODB. Like to me, he's rest in peace, Old Dirty, but like
Old
he's
Dirt,
everything
man,
that I would ever hope that Old Dirty would be.
Just a funny guy,
bro.
Like just a clown, but
he's
dope.
And in essence, Old Dirty was kind of somewhat that glue. I mean, they all held it down.
They're poets, man. They're poets. And to me, like they did the acapella stuff when like RZA was in the court. Spoilers alert. And he went into like that flashback, and like he was like doing that acapella freestyle, but it would sound like a poem.
Yeah, for sure.
And I never like put that together. And then I sit down and I listen to like Enter the 36 Chambers, and it's like they're poets. They're more than rappers. They're all of them. even go, like, and the way they do it is like, you know, you have RZA where he's more philosophical. He's more like, you know, he's talking about the, you know, like that 5%er type deal. Then you got Jizza where he's like a mathematician, like he's just breaking it down. Then you got Ghost who's just more rugged, but he's more personal with it. Same thing with Raekwon, where Raekwon's more rugged.
But they paint pictures.
But they're painting these pictures. Method Man's kind of the showman, but at the same time, he's telling his story.
Yeah, it's true.
ODB's all over the place. Like, ODB's...
He's the raw.
He's the raw, yeah. You God's kind of like that, like, you know, wild card too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Spectre Deck's another philosophical kind of, like, rapper.
I feel like you get different variations of each of the members with sprinkled in other members. Like You God, I also would compare his style to a Raekwon and Ghost, but it's his own entity.
Set that verse and
he set it off. He set it off on bro. Like that's you can't forget that.
Man, that was a cold.
And then even Inspector Deck, I would definitely compare his style to Jizz's a lot too.
I come in the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser. Oh man,
they got some potency.
Alive at Arrival, like that, like things that they say is just like, who was saying that at that time?
Yeah,
you know,
they had a lot.
Their slang was different. Their Peace
slang
God
was crazy. Their slang was off the hook, but they had a lot of different elements in their slang.
And it was cool because they're nerdy guys, like that, and that's where I get it. Like that's why I'm such a fan, because they relate to me. Because I'm a nerdy dude. And they're like these nerds, man. They're into kung fu flicks. They're into comic books, and they're.
But here's the thing: nerds, in the whatever definition you want to think about, they brought that to the forefront. That in the hoods and in hip hop culture in our lives, we was really all at our core. We all, what I'm saying, was on some nerdy stuff, but it
wasn't cool at that time
because the nerds get a stigma. But in all honesty, when you want to master anything, or when you really just engulfed in something that you love, you study it and you become to speak a nerd. But in reality, I don't know why that gets such a stigma.
Well, that's why I kind of like with them too was they stuck to their guns. That's kind of like where I respect you when it comes to musically. Is because you stick to your guns. You could have easily become one of these rappers where it was like, yeah, I'm gonna be raw, I'm gonna be rugged, I'm gonna be and you could have done that no problem. But you stuck to your guns and you're telling this another story, but you're more, you're playing with these bars, you're playing with the words, you're playing, and that's what they kind of do. And it's just like, because like I was just listening to Ghostface Back Like That, and the song's about a girl cheating on him
for sure,
with another dude that he has beef with. And I'm listening to the song, and not one time did he call that woman like a female dog. Like he spun it the funniest part where he was like, in the beginning, he was like, I'm gonna take the bad, give me these bad, give me that coat, give me the ring on your finger, oh it's stuck, I'm gonna take the whole finger then, and I'm taking the badge from Paris, and the puppies is staying, yo. It's like Ghost. Like, the whole thing, you're this rugged dude, you're talking about, and the puppies is staying, yo. I was rolling, and I was like, this dude's a trip. And speaking of Ghost, like, I remember watching the video, he was beefing with that Martin Scorsese. Well, they were having this issue. And Martin Scorsese did a video where he had all these dudes that he paid to be, like, his goons and stuff. And Ghostface did, like, a reply video. And Henry Rollin, he goes like, oh, you got goons? Yeah, I got goons too. And he comes out and he's just like these two old ladies.
Yo, Ghost. Yeah, we got this clown, man, all on TMZ, man, talking about you gotta apologize. Apologize to who? Who's this dude? I ain't never seen him before in my life. Just the fake Peter Pan cat you're talking about, right?
Exactly.
Oh, okay, yeah, the one with the 12-year-old body?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, listen, man. You know what, man? Let's go to the tape.
Why is that? Why are your goons not as hard as mine?
Lift up your skirt, motherfucker.
Yeah, well look, Ghost, stop pretending, stop acting, stop lying.
Yo, you know what, Martin? You said to the people out there all over America and all over the world that my goons ain't as hard as yours. I'm about to show you something, man. Hold on. go. Yeah, you know what? These is my goals, Martin. Where you at, Martin? Where you at,
Where
baby?
you, Martin?
Tell us,
Martin.
motherfucker, something.
Look, Martin, if you was my son, I whip your ass. I give you an ass whipping because what you doing is...
And he goes, yeah, these are my goons. I think it was like his mom or his aunt or something. He's like, these are my goons, so what's up? And I was rolling. I was like, this dude's he's a trip. But I was like, who's really stepping up to Ghostface? Like, the dude's like 7 foot and he's stacked. Like, who's stepping up to Ghostface? Because even that Mark Corelli went on the Breakfast Club and Charlamagne was like, he was like, well, Ghostface walked in right now, what would you do? And he goes, I'll slap him. He was like, Ghostface would throw you out this window. Like, that's a real dude. Like, he's been through stuff. And I was like, this dude pulled out 2 old women talking about, these are my goons, so what's up? I was like, this guy's a nut. But it was real. And, as you know, and it was so funny because, like, they're that real that they could do goofy stuff like that and still be taken seriously. Yeah. And even when they did the verses between, it made no sense to me when they did Ghost versus Raekwon, because it's like, Ghost is all over Cuban Links, and Raekwon's all over Iron Man.
But you know what? The only WuTang could do that, because it's like they so nice. You just brought that back to mind. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, like, that they could settle the dispute.
There was no dispute because it was both those albums are pretty much duet albums.
It's such a controversy. It's such a it's a conversation. That's like, the conversation started like, who do you prefer, Ghost or Ray?
That's like Mobb Deep doing it. Like,
hey, but I gotta give him credit for that, bro.
That was crazy.
That's nice though.
Like, RZA and Premier made sense, but it was like Ghost.
I've been thinking about that one though, because I don't know, man.
I think RZA's more. Man, that's tough. I think
Premier got so much more accolades.
Yeah, I think RZA's more creative because he takes from like the kung fu movies, and he takes from, you know, really, really old music, like stuff. Like there was a scene where I think it was in the first episode where the lawyer was looking through RZA's collection, his records collection. He goes, "Why do you have a Kenny Loggins album?"
That was dope.
And he was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Why do you have a Kenny Loggins album?" And he was like, "I think he's one of."
He said America's
greatest music writers. So I was like, and he was like, "You're right there." And I was like,
"The RZA come out of left field though. The RZA will do some real left field." But that's
the thing. The fact that he hears, and like there was one of the episodes he was sitting there listening to a song with his mom, and it was a song that she really loved. And she was like, "What do you know about this?" And he was, "Tell me what you know about like the percussions of this song.
Yeah.
Tell me what you know about the timing or something." It was like he listens, and that's how I listen to music. He listens to music so in depth, where he could take a random sound and just make it into something, and that blew my mind. Like I was like,
it really, the series makes me appreciate all of them more individually as a crew too, and it makes me appreciate hip hop. It really does. I mean, honestly though, you can't touch on that verses without bringing up the other elephant in it. It's in another room now, but
what the
Dips in
the Dips joint, bro. They were all toasted.
It was all love. Look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. So I watched it on the flight because I can't. My attention span don't be devoted throughout, my goings and comings.
My normal day,
yeah. Because I heard about it, and I might catch bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So you just getting people's review, their reaction, instead of just fully committing yourself to watching it. And I gotta say, I wasn't disappointed, because what is it, 2 hours?
Yeah.
But it's like watching a show. And to be honest, I was waiting to talk to somebody about this candidly. And I was gonna say that in the beginning, it didn't really look like it was carried. It was weighted one way or the other. But in reality, as it unraveled, it became, in the beginning it was nice, everything was cool, it was love.
Then it started becoming thing.
Yeah, it started becoming what it was. And it was
like,
really their charisma too.
Yeah, my thing with Dipset is Dipset got so many joints that they could have done.
Just was not prepared. And a lot of people that was interviewed said, I'm still waiting to see Nas's reaction on it. Mm-hmm. Nas got interviewed by, so I can't remember, it was on YouTube. I didn't finish watching it, but I want to see what, what Nas
that was crazy to me, because I'm like, Dipset got way more joints than the Locks do.
A lot of people was disappointed.
And I was like, what are you... And then Jadakiss comes out and he just annihilates them. He like
Jada
bulldozer through them.
Ready, bro. Like the Locks were just so tight. It made me appreciate the Locks as a crew. It made me appreciate Jada and really respect him saying top 5, because I didn't... Jada is like a 6th man to me. He's one of the best, but to me, he's like Method Man, Fabulous. I would say they're all 6th men. Mm-hmm. You feel me? But like now, after seeing that,
Jada
I was like,
a starter.
Wow, bro.
Like, Jada's a starter.
Jada's a beast, bro. Like, because he got bars, everybody, but his bars don't always hit you like, oh, wow, he said that. But just to see the MC in him, the showmanship and just the charisma.
That was wild. And then seeing it.
Crazy.
Because, like, I'm like, what?
They put on an amazing show.
They did. And that was cool to see. But now, since we're on the versus mode, man, we need to talk about, these just came out. They were so hyped. Everybody was hyping them.
All right, I can't
Drake,
wait to hear this.
CLB versus Kanye West, Donda.
Alright. They should do a versus with them.
And like, this might be my favorite beef, because this ain't one that's like, we're going to take it to the streets. Like, it's like two dudes that are like, my music's better. Two emotional dudes. But it's like, what I like about it is literally whose music's better.
It's a current thing. Yeah. Because here's the thing. I wasn't going to bring this up, but the thing is, right, back when 50 and Kanye did that cover, and they was like hyping it up, and 50 took the dumb L.
Oh my God.
And he didn't bow out of the game.
I'm just saying, College Dropout was probably Kanye's peak.
Right. You can't come in at someone and be like, you're at your peak, and I'm in the middle of my...
I hate to say it, 50's peak was Get Rich or Die Trying.
Or, nah, his
the Massacre wasn't bad.
Was the Massacre.
Yeah. Massacre wasn't bad, but it wasn't touching Get Rich or Die Trying.
Nah, because it was just, that was a classic.
Yeah.
And I don't know what determines that, because here's two guys. So to me, it's like, when someone's at the height of their career or they're coming in after you, you can't win. That's kind of how Kanye was.
Yeah.
Now, Drake is Kanye. In that moment,
Kanye's 50. But
they had some longevity.
I'll say they're neck and neck with these albums, because I feel like with Drake, for me, I don't think Drake will have another Take Care.
Nah, you're right. He hasn't had a... But he even says these things. He alludes to them on albums where he's like, oh, y'all saying this and that album wasn't a classic. But it was. And I don't think he has 6 albums. To me, he has more than 6 albums.
Yeah, like, to me, it's like, yes, people are going to go crazy over a Drake album, but also they're still going crazy for a Kanye album.
Facts.
They're still going, same thing with Cole. Like, everybody goes, Cole's not... What was
Facts.
that?
It's just whose movement is it at the time.
Yeah, what was that album there? Forest Drive or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, that was the album, but, like, you still flock to whenever you drop something.
Facts.
Same thing with Kendrick.
Facts.
People say he'll never have another match or another Damn, because Damn was a classic. And
yeah, Damn was all over the map.
But I think Kendrick's one that he could drop anything and everybody's gonna flock to it like nothing. But what I liked about Donda CLB, because we touched on this off camera, was the features are pretty much the same features.
Yo.
So and like it was
the
like
game is the same.
It was pretty much the same features.
Yeah.
They had literally, other than maybe Rick Ross and
Wayne
and Project Pat.
Yeah.
Which like
who thought you don't got Wayne on it?
No, you don't have Wayne on it.
Wayne and Rick Ross and Drake are like another.
That's like a group on their own.
That's a big 3 as well as a Nicki.
As of right
Wayne,
now, yeah.
Drake. Those big 3s, I look forward to them. That's one of the hardest joints on the whole.
Yeah,
I need that. That's hip hop to me.
And like my thing is, you see like the producer getting crap over having to give credit to R. Kelly. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, like people were like jumping on his throat because he had to give like props to R. Kelly, But the thing was, I think one of the samples or something happened in the studio where like a song that was faintly like an R. Kelly song was playing
on
CLB. Certified Love. Yeah, and it was like you don't hear it, like you can't hear it with the naked ear or anything.
They did this stuff on Don the Tudo.
Yeah,
where people was like, "Oh, he didn't give me credit for this gospel singer."
Yeah,
it's
like my thing is with Kanye too is, and this is reason. Not saying that it was a bad album. I hold Kanye to another level because I know production wise what he's capable of.
Yeah, but he's been weird.
Yeah,
the thing is too. The thing that people don't, that they need to step back and really understand. Beef aside, they need to understand that you're dealing with two different animals. Kanye is a producer. Not saying Drake's not a producer, but Drake and 40 are like, there's no, you don't associate nobody with Kanye when you think of Kanye. You just think of Kanye. He's his own animal. So
he's a beast.
The production is whatever he's in the mood for is going to take these waves.
Yeah,
and he's a weird dude. He's all over the map. So,
like, you know, I mean, like, because I know what he was doing. Like, I know the idea where, and I said this to you. We were texting about it, where it was more trying to get you in like this trance.
It was good though.
It was a good album. Yeah. It was, but like, if he's doing like a trance, he could have sampled like that trippy rock back in the set, like Pink Floyd, Grateful Dead, and he would kill that.
He would kill anything. But it's not bars. He ain't got no. It's not a hip hop album.
I mean, he has bars. I mean,
he does have bars, but he didn't come with that.
No.
There was people on his album rapping more than him.
And then Soulja Boy getting mad at him because he didn't. I was like, really? Like, come on.
I would have liked to see that though. Soulja Boy needs that for his career.
But even with Soulja
Boy,
was
just reaching out to people just to like.
Soulja Boy's he's another Kanye because he produces his own stuff.
People forget that.
You know, yeah, he might not lyrically, of course not. No, he's not a lyrical rapper at all. But he does.
That would have been his own duo though. Bro.
Yeah, he produces his own music.
Yeah, and it be slapping. I ain't gonna knock that.
No, I can't knock that.
Cat's hustle, man. And he revolutionized the game in ways too. So
I mean, he made MySpace hot. He made YouTube hot.
He really did that.
It's crazy to think
That's
about.
That's why I'm mad that he's not on the joint too. Like, I'll be rooting for Soulja Boy like on the low though.
But the baby, did he take the baby off?
Nah,
I know Lil Baby was on.
Nah, the baby was knocking. He had some bars on that joint, and I'm not a the Baby fan because the media. Yeah, I'm a Lil Baby fan. Surprisingly, because when he came out, he wasn't that guy to me, but he got better. Now the Baby is someone who came out nice, but the media hypes him up to the point that they take away from what he is, and I love him as. I think he's good. But I think the media just need to leave that man, let that man breathe, and just be his own animal and evolve. And
like what he said wasn't even that bad.
Nah, he's
I've heard rappers say worse.
They need to let that man live. They need to let that man live.
I heard rappers say worse things,
but they won't because now he got that attention.
That stigma, yeah.
He gotta play by their rules and stuff.
Nah, you know what I'm doing? I'm doing Eminem and I'm running with it. I'm running with it.
Bro, but only Eminem could get away with it. You gotta double down on the F stuff. You gotta double down when you can't bow down to these cats because then they own your soul, bro.
Nah, I'm running with it. You don't like me, you don't like me. But at the end of the day, people are gonna still listen to his music, even the people that are mad at him, just because so they can find a reason to. Look what happened with Eminem.
Once you get that pop money though, bro, it's a different bracket. You in a different game, bro.
Like Dua Lipa got mad at him. It's like really,
bro, because that's that pop money. Because look, and they mad at him. Y'all not just mad at him because.
What did he even say?
Something about the LG. Anytime you come for the letter, people.
Yeah.
God bless you. You got to be careful. But the thing is, these people are just mad because that's messing with their bread, bro. I'm not y'all.
Like I said, what he said wasn't even that bad. Like something about AIDS and whatever. If you don't got AIDS, put it up or something. Put your hands up. I've heard rappers say, ODB went out and said, yeah, I'm still on food stamps. I'm a millionaire, I'm still on food stamps. Everybody laughed him off. I mean, if he did that now, he'd probably be...
So he necessarily wasn't even dissing the LGBT?
No, he just said if you don't got AIDS or something like that. I don't know the full story, the full extent. But like for me, it's like I've heard
you
rappers
can't do that in
say
this is a sensitive era though.
Like,
it's a sensitive era.
Super sensitive.
Everybody on a sensitive stuff.
I'm just
now,
like, yo, like I've heard worse. Like
we can't celebrate not having AIDS now? So what? Just because of somebody got AIDS? Bro,
like I'm not sensitive. Like I get it, it's terrible, but at the same time, it's like I've heard worse. I heard not even Eminem. I've heard worse from other rappers.
Look,
I heard worse from Snoop. Like Snoop says some grimy stuff back in the day.
Look, even
Marilyn Manson.
Look, the Eminem bar that comes to mind that was the dopest Eminem bar from early in his career. Doctor, check this rash. Look how red it's been. It's probably AIDS. He said, scratch my junk till I shed its skin. Doctor, check this rash. Look how red it's been. It's probably AIDS. Forget it then. Yo, you can't tell me.
That was a hard ball.
And he would say stuff like, I strike a still pose to hit you with some ill flows that don't even make sense, like Dykes using dildos.
Yeah.
And gets away with it.
Well,
scot-free.
Big celebrating. Big celebrating. He said
the crazy stuff. Let's not even forget that wrong, bro. Come on. We're talking about rap.
It don't mix like two chicks two
and they still be saying they be bashing everybody on Wildin' Out. Nobody's safe on Wildin' Out, whether you're overweight, gay, black, white. They diss everything on Wildin' Out. So you're not going to tell me
like a comedian could get away with it, but a rapper can't get away with it. So in that
setting on Wildin' Out, you could diss anybody.
At this point, I'm saying I'm not a rapper. I'm a comedian. Then you know what?
You could get away with it.
Yeah, it's like I'm not here to hurt nobody. I'm just rapping.
Comedians can say whatever they want, though.
Yeah, a comedian can sit there and say whatever they. Well, not really, because look at Kevin Hart.
No, you're right.
He got shut out because of a tweet he put out 10 years ago.
That's what it is. If you're in the Illuminati, you can't get away with it. See, Chappelle skipped the indoctrination. Mm-hmm. He fled. So now he can kind of get away with doing that.
Yeah, he went.
But they trying to re-indoctrinate him, mm-hmm. So he got to play that delicate game. But once you in, you can't say none of that. So I guess the baby's in the Illuminati. So
nah, man, I'm not with that. I'm just like, yo, if he's gonna talk, he's gonna talk, bro. If he walked out and said, yeah, screw all gay people or something, then I'm like, all right, you're going a little too far, bro.
Like that, bro. They be hot. The media's the devil, bro.
Yo, they're the worst. They're the worst.
Bro, what else we got?
That's crazy. Yeah, we went in on that one.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
We went in.
I mean, I can't, man.
Well, then with all that, man, we talking WuTang. So ShangChi came out. Bro, I'm telling you, gotta.
I'm just hating because
it's a.
Okay.
The fight choreography is amazing.
You know that's gonna be top notch.
Oh man, the story was great.
Okay. But now you got subpar superheroes.
Nah, he's not
6
subpar.
Men. All they got is 6 men superheroes.
This dude is not. Well, no.
His powers is nice.
In the comic book, he's the best fighter in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, but he ain't got no powers, does he?
He has the heart of a dragon or something like that. He beats Iron Fist like it's nothing.
But Iron Fist
he trains
trash, my guy.
He trains Spider-Man when Spider-Man loses his senses.
Okay.
So he's nice
in the comic book.
So
he's nice.
The book's
underrated.
What's the? And I didn't before I saw this movie. I didn't really know anything about ShangChi.
But yo, I'm gonna tell you, Marvel's good at making some
subpar hero.
Because look, they did it with Iron Man, Captain America. I collected Captain America, big Captain America nerd. But I was like, he's never gonna get something.
He's never gonna get love.
He's never gonna get love, bro. Marvel made it happen. Mm-hmm. Nobody I knew growing up collected Iron Man and Captain America and Avengers.
WuTang did.
They didn't even collect Avengers. They collected X-Men was the hit. Everybody was like Wolverine, X-Men. You had to be on that because that was their cash cow. That was their Batman and Superman. That was Marvel's. Hulk. Yeah, that was the number 1, 2, 3. Alright.
But ShangChi,
they did it.
You guys, I think it's called The Way of the Spider or something. Big Ant watches this. Remind me of what book that is because I know he knows. But you got that. They make fun of the Iron Man 3 in a way.
That should be me
with the Mandarin.
Dumb fuck.
And the dude's like, the main bad guy's like, yeah, they called me the Mandarin. They're trying to strike fear of a fruit, like. I was like, done. Yo, I was like, that's.
I'm so glad they.
I love how they
needed the clap.
How they downplayed it. Yo. But it was so good. Like Aquafina was dope in it. Like
she's blowing up.
And the thing is with her, with that was like she didn't.
Shout out Aquafina, you in the Illuminati, yo. That's what's up. Made it. She in there, yo.
They didn't just make her the comedic relief. Like they actually gave her a big role.
She blowing up.
Oh, that Nora that she's in, that Nora from Queens Order, that show is hilarious.
Asian American representation.
Bro, that show had, which I think we got to watch in latest episode.
Oh yeah, facts.
I'm
behind, bro.
It's a good
that
show.
That show got me.
It's a
got
trip.
Me done. Like that's crazy.
So, but yeah, it was such a good movie, man. It was like I honestly didn't expect it to be that good.
That's when Marvel hit you, though.
Yeah, and what they're setting up is something way bigger than we think. I know people think it's Kang the Conqueror, but man, I don't know. I don't think Kang the Conqueror is going to be the big bad. I think we're going to get somebody way bigger.
Okay.
But because I said it to our boy Ant, I said Kang the Conqueror is pretty much out here playing Highlander because they're going to war with just himself in different universes.
That's crazy.
And I was like, if you didn't watch Loki, that's explaining Loki.
Oh, I gotta finish that too.
Oh, my fault.
Nah, it's all good.
But yeah, Kang the Conqueror is pretty much playing Highlander right now. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, so with this happening is like they're like setting something up. I just don't think it's him. I think we're getting either Galactus, and I mean that's my personal hope.
I've been waiting for something like that, but I don't know how they will portray it.
Yeah, like
because as
long as he's not a cloud,
universes, bro.
Yeah, well, planets. Yeah, as long as he's not a cloud, like in freaking Rise of the Silver Surfer joint.
The magnitude of Galactus always had me bugging in my head because I'm like, how do you portray?
The only thing that I'm upset about is we're not going to get the scene where Captain America punches him in the mouth.
Punches who in the mouth?
Galactus.
When that happened?
Yep. He was up and he he punches Galactus.
Did he rock him though?
He lit him up.
Shout out to Cap, yo. That's my favorite hero.
I wish we would have got. I mean, we may get it with Sam Wilson, but
it ain't gonna be the same, bro. Cause he ain't again no power.
Oh, here we go.
Yo, Marvel is doing the most with some B-list heroes, bro, and I'm like,
but they're
picking it up.
They are making them A-list hero. Like even Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't know nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy.
The most with some B's, bro.
But I'm like, and then when I watched the movie, I'm like, oh, I gotta read some books, and the books are amazing.
That's dope.
Same thing with what's the other movie? The Eternals. Like I know a little bit because like of Thanos and stuff, but the way they're like this one looks really like the first preview that they put out wasn't that great, but this last one they put out I was like, okay, now I'm invested. Now I want to see where this is gonna go because I'm like, okay, so these are these like superpowers, like superpowers, and they're like they didn't do nothing. They're just sitting back and while Thanos is taking out the whole world, like the universe, and then they explain it where like we can only act when the Celestials tell us to act. And I'm like, okay, that's what I want to see. Like I need that explanation, like that and that small detail. And like I said, with back to ShangChi, the way it's shot, it doesn't look like a normal Marvel movie. Like it's hard to explain. You have to watch it to actually. Like,
I can't wait. I'm gonna definitely check that out. I'm grateful that it's gonna exceed my expectations. I'm hoping.
Oh, it's so good.
Because I got so tired of the B-list stuff with Marvel. Not that I didn't root for, Falcon's super dope. Go back and check that out. Loki's dope.
WandaVision,
I'm chewing on it bit by bit.
It's cool. It's whatever.
But all of them was super dope, and I'm really excited. I really did love the Falcon too. I love the representation, obviously.
And like I said, I like the message of
for sure.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was like a cool message.
But I was like, yo, if I want some A-list junk, I'm gonna have to go to What If, just to see like what could have happened.
Yeah, see, I gotta get into What If.
ABC.
I haven't been watching it.
I mean, yo,
like I said, I've been trying to I've been keeping up. I know what's going on.
It's kind of B too though, if you think about it, because it takes some B-list people, and
I heard it's cool. I heard like people were saying like I heard the last episode wasn't that great. I know they did
take some A-list characters.
They did Marvel zombies and whatever. It's cool.
It's not going to really knock your socks off, but it's worth giving a watch.
I'll check them out at some point. I'll wait till it's all said and done, and then I'll watch it.
Yeah, let me know, and then maybe we'll do a review if it's big enough, if it's important. But
even so, like, and then DC's doing their thing. Like it's.
Oh yeah.
I'll bring that up later. But Titans is out, making fun of that. That joint's that's just, and then Doom Patrol, that's coming out end of this month, and I cannot wait.
What season are that?
That's still in the 3rd season. Such an awesome show, funny.
Better than Titans?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I seen. It seemed like it was evolving better.
It's so unorthodox. It's just out of nowhere. It's so good. It's funny. It's has some emotional traits to it, but it's like just, let's throw whatever at the wall and whatever sticks, but in a good way.
Let's just always touch on the fact that DC will never be what Marvel is.
No, they're too far behind, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless it's Batman and Superman, but that's all they ever do is Batman and Superman.
I feel like they just don't have enough characters.
And speaking of like pop culture, we touched on this before. Like, what is what was it about like the 80s and the 90s that made them so great? Like cartoon wise, because we have the new G.I. Joe movie. I haven't checked it out yet. I want to check it out, but we have Snake Eyes.
Oh yeah.
Which I have to still check out. I know they are working on a new Ninja Turtles movie. They're working on another Power Rangers movie, another Transformers movie.
Everything's getting revisited.
I
feel like we always trying to relive the 90s.
Oh yeah, like
the 80s.
I mean, the 90s were so good, man. Like with everything we had in the 90s, you had a cartoon for everything.
I will say to that point, I would say that
80s too. You had a cartoon for pretty much 80s.
The
everything.
80s music was trash to me, and the culture in the dress was garbage. But and I was at the tail end of that. But
people are gonna be mad.
Same time, they had the best cartoons and stuff and best toys to me.
I mean, I was never really into
Transformers, G.I. Joe, because those two movies were groundbreaking. Because look,
I prefer the cartoon movie than the new movie
because that was the first time
Transformers
you seen a cartoon movie on a big screen
that big,
and they cursed. And G.I. Joe was like,
see, I never really got into
G.I. Joe. Into the characters. G.I. Joe the movie like made them reinvented them.
Yeah, same thing with like the 90s, and that
Turtles came out in the 90s, so that was
Turtles was like 80s, 90s.
Tail end. So late 80s, early 90s is the best era. If you got to be honest, I think it's like 85 to 95.
Well, that's what me and our boy Eno said. We were talking about. I was like, honestly, the best era was late 80s, early 90s, even with music, because that's where you got the, NWAs, the Chronics, the WuTang, entered the 36.
Started the
Ready
late
to Die.
80s, but then it came into the 90s and it just took
that. It was that transition period, but it was so good.
It's crazy.
Because I was like, when you look at it, like once it got to like the late 90s, you had the Eminems and you had like stuff like that, but nothing just hits like that early 90s hip hop or even R&B, like just that music where it was like that transition was more so good.
It was more organic.
Even with cartoons, like, you have, the Turtles, you have the Power Rangers. Well, Power Rangers were a cartoon, but you have Power Rangers, you have, what else was I watching back? Oh,
I couldn't mess with the Power Rangers, but we touched on this before.
Yeah,
why. It was super because
it was about the toys. It was about selling toys.
It was because they spared every expense.
Because Power Rangers came from Japan.
Yeah, but they didn't even. They had the worst special effects ever.
But you gotta remember, I think
so bad.
I think Super Sentai, if I'm not mistaken, if you're a Power Ranger nerd, let me know. But I think Super Sentai was shot in the 80s, and all they did was take when they were in costume, all the footage from when they were in costume to when they brought it to America, and then so when they're in costume, it's not the actual actors, and then when they're when they're like just regular Angel Grove and whatever, that's when it's like the 90s vibe. But I think the stuff you see when they're in costume is from the 80s.
What they that's why it's so bad. What they should have done, and I had a vision. What they should have done was blend animation together.
I think
they could have cut to different scenes where they were fighting,
where
made that real.
Yeah.
But then go back to cartoons for different. I think that would have been so dope.
It would have been interesting for
to have it be both.
I mean, then I had all the cool superhero shows. I had the SpiderMan, I had the X-Men cartoon, and they had their own little Marvel universe there, which was awesome.
X-Men,
they crossed over with Spider-Man, or Spider-Man crossed over with them. Fantastic Four, Iron Man, for whatever reason, like his suit had abs. It didn't even look like an armor. It didn't even look like an armor. It looked like a regular like spandex suit. And he had a mullet. And I always said like 90s were the time where like mullets and big muscles were like the big deal.
That's crazy.
And he even said like, because Superman, that was when Superman died, and he came back and he was like bearded and mullet and he was like super diesel. So it was always like that. We had the Batman animated series, New Adventures of Batman and Robin, classic. Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy. So it was, like I said, 90s and 80s were just so good.
Yeah,
they were just really good.
They definitely were.
And then, transitioning, we got, well, I gotta say, it's probably some of the best work I've heard you do. Cold Summer came out over the summer.
Thank you.
Yeah, some of the best work. Now, where did that come from? Like, what made you want to do, like, a Cold Summer? Like, what was the idea behind it?
So, as I was prolonging putting out the EP, which was supposed to drop last winter, because to begin with, the whole concept that I had in mind when I did the last EP, which was 1-2, it took a different turn because we were entering the COVID days, and the album cover was just basically a red notebook. So Cold Summer was supposed to come out when it wasn't going to be called Cold Summer. It was supposed to be a winter EP that transitioned into a green album cover, green notebook. So it was maybe supposed to be a yellow notebook or something from the fall into the winter, where it was a yellow notebook indicating, it's fall colors, it's we're in the yellow stage, it's this, and it was this, everyone was on the edge of their seat waiting, anticipating the spring, which would have been a good time, to put the green one out, like everything's go now, everybody, the nation's healing, etc. So it's supposed to just be a winter vibe. The songs are dark.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means it's...
That's all right. We can keep going.
The songs are dark, so I was like, man, I kept pushing it back.
Yeah.
You was picking on me rightfully because it was so funny. It was like, all right, yeah, when's he gonna come out with his EP? Is this like a Chronic 2? Or I mean, Chronic.
It's a detox.
Detox, man.
Detox.
Yeah, Chronic 2000 did come out. But yeah, so I was like, all right, so the songs are getting pushed back, and now it's approaching summer again.
Yeah.
They're dark thematically. How do I take this lost art, this old work, and not push it off until the season changes again and still make it relevant? Well, we went through the election, and I meant to put it out before. All of the music on there is talking about stuff like thematically that's dark, that's cold, that's touches on, abstractly, that touches on politics and how it doesn't really matter who's in office. They're not gonna, power's going to change hands, but you gotta wake up and really fulfill your purpose, because you can't wait for whoever's in office to dictate your life and how you think, and you have to think for yourself.
You do,
and you have to wake up and realize, like, I gotta live my life. So a lot of that stuff it touches on, and I was like, how can I put this out and make it still represent all of that, but then it have that dark feel in the middle of the summer? I was like, okay, well, perfect. The whole thing just kind of was from God, I guess. It was just, okay, cold summer, boom. So then the Bernie Sanders theme came to mind, and then it hit me like, okay, so we still kind of going through it, with the COVID, and we still going through it with the aftermath of the election and politics and all of that. And I was like, how do I touch on all of that and make it comical and make it somewhat bright, but at the same time keep that dark vibe? I was like, perfect. So God that basically dropped that gem in my head, and it was like, boom, we got it. You know what I'm saying? And it makes it light, but it's still, and there's really nothing on there light. The only song that got dropped, I'll say by the label, but it's really just a matter of distribution. But the only song that got dropped probably was the lightest song on there. That's Money Shot. So go back and listen to that. Definitely. Everything else is really just it's dark. It makes you just kind of think. It's gritty. Freezer Burns on there, and that's another reason.
That's a cool song. Yeah.
So I just decided to do Cold Summer. So, because it's a cold state of mind, just the themes. So.
Now, do we got anything coming out in the future?
Looking forward to. I don't know what the next EP is going to be called, but it's still playing into seasons a lot, and it's a lot brighter. I think, half of it's brighter, but there's a lot of more thematically. The work is still evolving. The stories are getting told, and it's just a matter of who's touching the production. The production's there. It's all been done, debutted. So translation, I have my part in it, and it's all there. Foreign language is just the dynamic duo, but it's there, but it's going to take a different turn, and I think there's going to be a lot of brighter, more like in-depth stuff in the future.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah, dope. Literally, there's going to be some dope stuff coming out. So looking forward to it.
Something new that I want to do is I want to recommend stuff to people. If you're a reader, gamer, want to watch
so get back to that right here, right now.
Kind of like that right here, right now. I want to read this. So I said,
even where you at applies to that.
Yeah, where you at. So comic book or just book read in general, I recommend to people is 3 Jokers. I do recommend this storyline. Because 1, it's crazy. 2, it's kind of dark. I mean, it is a Batman storyline, but it's kind of a way where it's like you understand where like the Joker comes from. Even the idea of being 3 different ones, which you got the criminal, you got the clown, you got the comedian, and they all have their own personality, but they all have like this weird similarity, and it was so good because it shows. So the idea is, originally, you got the regular one that Batman's been feuding with. You have the one that killed Jason Todd, even though Jason Todd comes back to life. And only reason Jason Todd died because the fans are jerks and they killed him off by voting him to get killed. And then you have Batgirl, and which is the other. I think he's the comedian. I think that's the one that she deals with, and he's the one that shoots her in the back and paralyzes her, and does grimy like he to make Jim Gordon go crazy because it's Barbara Gordon who's Batgirl. Jim Gordon goes crazy in the Killing Joke, and basically after Joker shoots her and splits her spine, he kind of takes pictures of her while she's naked, and then he puts he puts Jim Gordon in like this funhouse ride, and he's like showing her these pictures, so it makes Jim Gordon go mad. And it was such great storytelling where they come from, because like spoiler alert, like.
So which Joker was that did that?
That was the comedian. The clown is the one that killed Jason Todd. With the crowbar, he beat him with a crowbar and then blew him up. And then the criminal is the one that Batman kind of like deals with on the regular. He deals with all of them, but the criminal is the one that like he originally start fighting. I even said if they would do a movie to it, you could kind of do it with the Joe. I mean, unfortunately, we don't have Heath Ledger anymore, but you could kind of bring Jack Nicholson back into the fray with his. You'll skip Heath Ledger's, because you kind of do it where Jack Nicholson would be the criminal, because he was kind of the criminal. He was the mob boss. Yada yada yada. Then you could do Jared Leto as the comedian. No, the clown. Even though I'm not a big fan of Jared Leto's Joker, but to make the movie work, I would bring him back. And then you could do Joaquin Phoenix, which he would be the comedian. And you could play it off in that aspect. Really good books to read.
You don't think those three personalities could ever coexist in one person?
I would think so. I mean, because for a long while we believed it was just one Joker. They whoever wrote this flipped it and was like, oh no, it's three Jokers. And it was like they all have their own personality, but they all kind of have this like same end game where it's like, make Batman kill us, basically. And it was like real. It was a great read. It ended kind of like weird, but still a great read. Movies is another Batman. And this one's great for this season. It's based off one of the best books, I think, best storylines. Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 and 2. This one's like a different take on Two-Face's like origins, but you have like cameos with Poison Ivy, you have cameos with Catwoman, you have forgot who else. I think Mad Hatter's in there, Scarecrow, Joker, all these villains, and it's like a span I think a year, and they break down like all the holidays and it gets to a point where Batman, this is where Batman gets the idea of becoming more of a detective. And it's really good. The movie, they portrayed the book almost really well. It's an animated movie. But it's really good. It's told really well. The voice acting's incredible. They actually have she died just recently. I think her name's not Naya Rivera, the one from Glee. She voices Catwoman and she's really good. Unfortunately, she passed away. But yes, that I recommend watching. The second one's a little bit more boring, but once it gets into by the end of it, where he's fighting Two-Face and stuff, it gets really good. And plus, it's not a seasoned Batman; he's still pretty new at being Batman. So
that's tight.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like he's like overpowered. Like he takes a beating himself, and he gets compromised and everything. So that part was that's cool. I know a lot of people don't like the animated stuff, but I think the animated DC movies are way better.
Animated DC movies are
way better. Yeah, and plus their universe works.
Yeah.
Not like the DCU where that's all over the place.
Nah, yeah, it's.
But yeah, I recommend watching Batman: Long Halloween Part 1 and 2. Great movie, great story. One of my personal favorite storylines from the Batman universe. I'm not sure if Frank Miller did that one. I gotta go back and look, but I know Frank Miller did Year One, and it takes place in that same universe. And it's just like I said, you got the Joker, which is voiced by Troy Baker, which he did Joker in the game Batman Arkham Origins, which he kind of like does a Mark Hamill take to the Joker, which is great. I love that he does the Mark Hamill stuff. Not as good as Mark Hamill, but the next best thing. I think the Penguin shows up. I don't remember I don't think the Penguin shows up. I don't remember the Penguin shows up. I know Scarecrow shows up.
Dang, Batman got the best villains.
That's tough because SpiderMan got some great.
Oh yeah,
too.
He does. Yeah, you're right.
It's between them two. It's like a toss up.
For sure, man.
Scarecrow, like you see an emotional side of Batman, which was I like when I see like that emotional part of the hero, and like Scarecrow gets him with the toxin, and he's like, and Batman's kind of like, he sees his parents, and he gets somehow he gets back to Wayne Manor, and Alfred comes out, and he's like, Alfred, my mom, where's my mom? And it's like, it broke my heart because I'm like, he's still a guy with like a lot of times like this live action movie they make him this like robot where he has no feelings or nothing. When they do him in animation, like they do it right where they show that emotional, like he's still like hurting from that. So when you see that where he was compromised, he was like, where's my mom? My mom was just right there. And it's like, you feel that emotion coming from him, and it was like, dang. Like, why can't we ever get that in a movie? So I'm hoping we get that in the new movie. I'm hearing good things. I'm hearing that it has a horror aspect to it. I'm hearing this may be the best take on Batman ever. And that's, you're talking about Nolan, you're talking about Christian Bale, where everybody says that's the best one. So I'm like, man, you got some, that's big to say. And then going with that, I said anticipated games. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, just because we just got the Suicide Squad movie last month, and it was incredible. It was funny. It wasn't forced. My wife, she's watching it, and she's like, this movie really shows like how sadistic Amanda Waller actually is. And honestly, like, I look at her, I'm like, babe, I was like, that's light work compared to how far Amanda Waller will go. And she's like, she was like, really? I'm like, it's light work. Like, she's horrible. She's a horrible person. But it was such a good movie. It was, like I said, it was hilarious. They didn't try to make the Suicide Squad relatable in any way. They kind of basically, what they basically did was they pretty much took like, not even B-level, like C-level villains. Like C-level villains. Other than Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, and Peacemaker, which Cena's a whole nother subject, like, because John Cena is just built weird.
You mean like physically?
Physically, he's really just built really weird, and they always make him like do like things, like he was in his underwear, and like it was like, dude, why? But I'm gonna give it to Cena. Like what Cena does, anything that he does, he gives 100%, and I gotta give it to him because there was like a dance scene in there that made him look ridiculous because he's doing one of these, and it was like, but the way he was doing it was hilarious. King Shark was funny, which was voiced by Sylvester Stallone. It was very vulgar, which I feel like, well, especially like I say, Suicide Squad should be ridiculous. There should be no rhyme or reason. It's just you just throw everything at the wall and hope everything sticks, because it was just bizarre, but it was just a fun movie. I would recommend to anybody who's a comic book fan, and if you're a Suicide Squad fan, I recommend it. But this game, like, I'm excited for because it's like something different. You're fighting the Justice League with pretty much B-level villains. And it's like, why not? Why not fight the Justice League with crap villains? And that's what so I was like, I mean, Harley Quinn's she goes hard. Like, I can't front on Harley Quinn and King Shark.
Yeah, but she has no powers.
Well, I mean, no, she's like somewhat super trained.
Yeah,
but she only has to fight Batman, really.
She's got super. She's nice with every. Yeah, she's nice with fighting.
Yeah, like she's super trained,
and she just
has
very
syndrome.
Yeah, but she's
that made me laugh with the last Suicide Squad movie, the original one, where everybody was like, "Oh, I want a relationship like Joker and Harley Quinn. Like, no, you don't.
Nah.
No,
not at
you
all.
don't. You don't want that relationship.
That's crazy.
Like, they're like, well, yeah, they're so low. Like, no. She has Stockholm syndrome. Like, she's a hostage more than a girlfriend.
That's crazy.
I was like, read a comic book. Like, he beats the life out of her, or he'll leave her to die while he dips out.
Yeah.
And she keeps coming back to him. And then she's like, they're like, oh, but they were so lovey-dovey in this movie. It was so cute. I'm like, nah, man, that's worse than Ike and Tina Turner. Like, but man, with all that, we'll see you on the next episode.
It's heavy, man. Let's hope that, look, art, music, entertainment, just keep bringing it. And
keep doing it,
yeah,
man.
we'll be here.
If you're an artist, man, just put it out there. Throw everything out there.
Yeah, because those 2 flops, they weren't flops. It was the same Drake, and it was Kanye being Kanye evolving.
Yeah, definitely. I think
definitely,
people gotta don't sleep on them, but take a listen to them, make your own opinion. I know people love them.
Yeah,
I'm just not impressed because I feel like their best work is past them.
Yeah, and I feel like the industry needs more food.
Yeah.
I like listening to independent artists.
I mean, Kanye does have Jay Electronica on it. That dude's like a unicorn. Like, you see him once in a while.
Yeah, it's always a treat, a rare treat. Oh, and he got the locks, basically.
Yeah, he got the locks on there.
And he got Griselda.
And we haven't heard Griselda for a hot minute.
Kanye really he put his best foot forward in terms of getting a lot of different people.
Griselda's a Chicago based, right?
They're
or they're New York.
Buffalo,
okay.
They got them wings. They got that fire.
But still, I mean, that's big. That's a big move.
Yeah. Yo, Kanye got all these gutter people rapping on some God stuff. That got me, dog.
That Jay Electronica verse too.
Yeah, bro. Like Kanye,
he's another poet when it comes to rap,
bro.
Man.
He's like, to me, he's like Andre 3000.
Yeah. And then check out WuTang America Saga.
Yo, please check
on
that out.
Hulu.
That's
amazing.
a hip hop. That's like
if you're a WuTang fan,
in a WuTang, yeah, for sure.
And I feel like if you're a hip hop fan, you gotta be a WuTang fan.
Yeah,
because they're so out there. They're so different. Check out Three Jokers. Check out Batman Long Halloween 1 and 2.
Check out Suicide Squad. Check out
ShangChi.
ShangChi for sure.
What if?
Man, what if the whole 9?
Just man,
throw it back if you want to watch verses again. Because I don't think the Fat Joe Ja Rule verses is gonna be all it's hitting for.
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ja Rule might have more, but that's on another topic.
Yes, sir.
But we'll check you out on the next one.
Peace.
Envy, complexes, pajamas, nice verbals. I said this. Envy.